In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man. Finally, whether you are citizens of America or citizens of the world, ask of us here the same high standards of strength and sacrifice which we ask of you. With a good conscience, our only sure reward, with history the final judge of our deeds, let us go forth to lead the land we love, asking his blessing and his help, but knowing that here on earth, God's work must truly be our own.
Nearly 30 years ago, Robert Kennedy said, "Work is the meaning of what this country is all about." We need it as individuals. We need to sense it in our fellow citizens, and we need it as a society and as a people. He was right then, and it's right now. From now on, our nation's answer to this great social challenge will no longer be a never-ending cycle of welfare. It will be the dignity, the power, and the ethic of work.
You know, I said for some time that John F. Kennedy could never get elected by Democrats today. Robert F. Kennedy Sr. could never get elected by Democrats right now. We know RFK Jr. couldn't. They didn't want any parts of him. What I didn't know is that even Bill Clinton couldn't get elected in today's Democrat Party. What has happened to the Democrat Party? How did they turn into a complete socialist? And I don't even know if we can blame it on Obama. Something has gone haywire. They've decided to go all in on socialism, and it's a losing message in most parts of the country.
Today we are taking an historic chance to make welfare what it was meant to be, a second chance, not a way of life. This bill will help people to go to work so they can stop drawing a welfare check and start drawing a paycheck. It is now clearly better to go to work than stay on welfare. Clearly better. Because of actions taken by the Congress in this session, it is clearly better to end the terrible, almost physical isolation of huge numbers of poor people and their children from the rest of mainstream America. We have to do this.
Say what you want about Bill Clinton. I almost don't blame him with Monica Lewinsky saying how we've got to know his wife. But in any event, 1996 is only 29 years ago. And in 29 years, those words could not be spoken by Democrats today. Some of you guys are probably shaking your head going, wait a second. How could that be possible? Yep, you won't hear those words. They encourage these people to stay on the dole of the government.
Hey, we are ending welfare as we know it. But I hope this day will be remembered not for what it ended, but for what it began. A new day that offers hope, honors responsibility, rewards work, and changes the terms of the debate.
For too many, welfare has been a way of life.
For too long, it has condemned too many on welfare to a lifetime at the margins of our society. Today, we start to change all that.
Anyone who wants to receive welfare must sign an individual responsibility contract so that they're forced to agree up front to.
Who's that guy? Where did that guy go in 30 years? What happened? How did these people go from wanting people to go back to work to now wanting them to basically be nurses, nursing off of us, the rest of us? How? How did that happen? I don't think it was Obama.
The conditions placed on receiving the benefit, and so that they will have a plan from day one on how to get themselves off of welfare, put them to work.
I'm glad the Democrats didn't fix this right away, because it's gone from, oh my gosh, my SNAP benefits are going away, to then Republicans going, oh my gosh, SNAP benefits are going away, to wait a minute. How much are we paying in SNAP? How many people? 40 million people on SNAP? When did that happen? To now people going, I don't know if 40 million people should be on SNAP in the first place. We're finally having a real positive, constructive conversation. I want to be there for people who they really need the help. I want to be there. I personally wish we were doing it privately. I wish our churches were more involved in things like that. And I wish we had higher standards. But, that's part of the big, beautiful bill. We did up the standards on that. And that's why they're trying to get the big, beautiful bill erased. 40 million people are on food stamps in America. 40 million people. Guys, we haven't even hit a depression. This is not like the Dust Bowl. It's not the 1930s. Why do you have 40 million people in this country? That's a problem.
CNN's Renee Marsh and Danny Freeman are following all of this for us. Renee, what more is the judge saying in this effort to keep SNAP money flowing?
Right. So there's this pot of more than $5 billion in emergency funds just sitting at the USDA. And the Trump administration said in court today that the agency was prohibited from tapping into those emergency funds to keep the assistance benefits flowing to those 42 million Americans who.
All right. So first, she talks about it. This $5 billion is just sitting there, just waiting. It's for emergencies. Just like they did with the strategic oil reserves, and they just kept throwing the oil out, just trying to make favor. And so now they're suing to use the reserves. Reserves are what they are. It's sort of like your savings account. If you use the money in your savings account for your waiting for a rainy day, then if a rainy day comes, you got nothing left. And the Democrats don't care. Please save us from this. I wanted to show you this. I pulled this from Grok Answer, and it's pretty interesting. It says, the USDA SNAP contingency reserve, just a contingency reserve, holds approximately $5 billion. If they use it for the November benefits, it could only going to cover about 63% of the estimated $8 billion monthly total based on 42 million recipients averaging $190 per person. This partial funding might avert immediate disruptions for some, but would deplete reserves meant for disasters per administration concerns. So even if a judge says you got to spend this $5 billion, the reserve, you got to get rid of this $5 billion and give it out. How do you turn into King Solomon at this point and decide who gets what? There's still not enough. 37% of the people on SNAP, there's no money for them. So as you're a Democrat, you lose either way. Both ways. You're going to deplete the reserves, and you're not even going to fund everything, because what's going to happen is 37% of the people who are expecting some money, they're not going to get it. And then you're even in a worse situation, because you got no money for Christmas. And that Christmas would fall after that 61 days. And so there's not even a judge that can help you at that point, because once you have to come and sign the continuing resolution, eventually they're going to have to. Well, we already know what's in it, and what's in it is those people aren't getting any money. So now you've got them in quite a quandary right now. There's not enough money.
Rely on it. The Trump administration's lawyers also said that the agency didn't want to use those funds. And the judge really pressed them pretty hard on this, asking where in the law does it prohibit using these funds to prevent the suspension of SNAP benefits, which, by the way, SNAP benefits have never been suspended or reduced before. But the administration's lawyers struggled to really give a clear and even convincing reason for.
Now, this is weird because you're supposed to be a court reporter and you're giving a completely biased report, but just listen to what she says anyway.
Why they needed to suspend these benefits. The judge at one point was so confused by the administration's arguments that she said, quote, Congress has put money in an emergency fund for an emergency, and it's hard for me to understand how this isn't an emergency when there's no money and a lot of people are needing their SNAP benefits. And that.
Notice the name. Not that I'm pointing anything, I'm not giving any racist, but this is one of those judges who, again, is try to interpret what an emergency really is. I don't think a judge's position is to tell somebody what an emergency is, but she's going to. She's going to say, pay who you can. It's coming.
Really was a key moment. The judge indicated that she may ask the agency to explore reducing benefits because of the dwindling amount of available funds as opposed to stopping the benefits altogether.
Who's going to pick? The judge is talking about maybe reducing the benefits instead of stopping the benefits. And I want to know, Miss Judge, how do you, you can't have it. You get some. All right, instead of everybody getting what they usually get, we're going to reduce everybody. So, who's going to do all that, Your Honor? Who is going to pick and choose who gets what? Who's going to reduce it? What are you going to say? Well, reduce everybody by 50% so everybody gets a little bit. Oh, this has turned into a comedy of errors.
That would be complicated because the USDA would have to recalculate how much specific states will get. Then states will have to recalculate how much individuals will get. But here's the bottom line. Come November 1st, the SNAP benefits will not be available for the people who rely on them. The judge says that she's going to be working quickly to come up with an emergency decision. But she clearly was not buying the Trump administration's argument that they had no choice other than to stop these benefits during the shutdown.
Thank you so much for that report, Renee. Let's go now to Danny Freeman.
Okay, it is Thursday at 4:17. So if she works through the night and comes up tomorrow on a Friday and says, okay, before November 1st, what I need you to do is I need you to go back in and recalculate all these different people, the 42 million people. I want you to recalculate how we can spread this out among 42 million people. At which point, it's Friday. I'm out, Judge. You can't make people go back to work. Who's gonna be doing the calculations? How are they gonna pick? How are they gonna pick what state? All before the first? You expect all? They waited and they waited and they waited. Now their backs are up against the wall, and they're probably gonna get this judge to give a ruling tonight or tomorrow and say fix it somehow. And then you expect people in the USDA, in the government, to go back into work and count all this money, get it dispersed, put it in people's accounts before November 1st. I don't even have enough popcorn to buy and watch what's about to happen. Now they're frantically figuring out who and where and how much, and don't let some white people or some newcomers get money and then the other ones don't get none. Oh, wait till they find out. They go to the store and they see somebody going, hey, got mine, and they didn't get theirs. Oh, this is, just go to the grocery store now and avoid it. Just go now and make sure you're nowhere near a grocery store over the next 2 days. maybe next 3 days. Be grocery store free until like Monday. Because all hell might break loose. I just saw a video where a guy at Walmart got beat up because he tried to steal something. All hell is about to break loose.